guess I'm live, and I'm kind of wiggling you guys around to try and get to the right spot. I think we're there. All right, so we're a little early, but I didn't want to wait too long. So let's see, how are we doing? Oh, we only have about a minute. So this week seems much more seasonable in terms of temperatures than the end of last week. Here in New Hampshire, we got close to breaking some records. I know they did break the record for April 14th down in Boston by a couple of degrees. So anyway, this week much more seasonable and a few showers, which will make the ground happy. As I look out the window of the studio, the trees are getting that sort of, I call it gauzy look, that sort of soft, before the leaves are really big and open. It's just that sort of soft look. You can still see the branches through there, but there's a little bit of color. It's so nice. And grasses, the lawns are starting to green up, which is lovely. It does probably mean a mowing soon, but you know, it's all good. So I'm just waiting to see if we've got a few people that are going to join us here. I know it's getting harder to be ready for 7 o'clock because it still feels like, oh my gosh, it must be a lot earlier than that because it's still light out. I know I'm struggling with that a little bit. I often did when my kids were little. I'd like totally space bedtime. Anyway, so some of you guys have seen, well, you probably have if you follow any Demonstrator or on any social media or anything. It is all over the place that Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping tomorrow. I used to say they don't do this very often, and I think if we go a whole year back, I think that it's been 3 or 4 times, which in a year is not that often, but it's still a lot more often than they used to. So anyway, they are still recovering from April 4th. So let me just tell you guys, I watched a video. It was out there for demonstrators to help you understand the shipping delays. So if you're watching this live on April 18th, or in the future, you may still be waiting for orders. Stampin' Up! Had their biggest day ever, like in the whole history of the company, 35 years, biggest day, April 4th. So a couple of things contributed to that. First of all, it was the first day that demonstrators could pre-order from the new annual catalog. So we could get all the new ink colors. There were select suites and stamp sets and dies and things that we could pre-order. And along with that, the last chance list discounts started. Okay, so the last chance list had been out a few days, but a lot of people were waiting to get those discounts, those discounted products. Okay, 20 times a typical day. They sent out 20 times more product units than typical. Like they did more, you guys helped us do more in sales on April 4th than the entire month of March. So the distribution center is feeling the pinch a little bit, okay? They have internally canceled trainings, canceled meetings, canceled other internal kinds of events to allow administrative people to go help out on the pick lines in the distribution center, okay? They are working really, really hard to get your orders out, but shipping is still a little backed up, okay? They're still looking at 8 to 10 days, all right? So just understand, and please allow them some grace and patience. We appreciate it, okay? So anyway, that's sort of where we're going. But that leads me to say, yes, the free shipping is happening tomorrow, which is a great thing to stock up on any of those products, some of the adhesives that are going up in price. Stock up on your basic white cardstock, your very vanilla cardstock. Stock up on those envelopes. Catch any last minute, last chance or retiring items from the current annual catalog or the January to April mini catalog, okay? If there's a bundle in the mini catalog that you want, that will be around for next catalog, you know, for the annual catalog, but won't be a bundle, save your 10% and save the shipping. Get it now, okay? So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that is happening. I will send an email out, probably a couple of them tomorrow. I don't love doing that, but I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody because of timing or something. So I will likely have one go early in the morning tomorrow, and then one again around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, letting you know that you just have hours left for the free shipping. Okay, so the host code will be available, and I'm thinking I'm going to offer a little, I've got lots of some of the Celebration Designer Series papers and some other papers that are retiring and stuff. So what I may do is cut that into 4x6 pieces and include, and anybody that orders during the free shipping tomorrow, I will mail you, or if you need to have me do your order through with mine, text or email it to me tomorrow, and I will send out, or you can pick up a little sampler of pieces. Not sure how many. It will depend on how many people choose to order, so I will do that. So they will be card front plus a little bit kinds of pieces. Okay. All right. So moving on. Okay. Let's remind you that I will be on May 6th. I will be at the United Church of Christ in Keene for the MAPS Counseling Service fundraising event, their wellness festival. Okay. There will be lots of great things happening. So I hope you can join us there to do a little of self-care, and there'll be some massages, like chair massages and stuff, so get there early so you can sign up for one of those, and I'll be there, and anyway, yeah, it'll be great. So remember when I had to show you this, because I didn't have my catalog yet, I had to show you the cover like this. I don't have to use that picture anymore. It's really here. I'm so excited. My cases should be coming along. So if you are somebody that orders through me, or you don't have another demonstrator and you would like a catalog, you can let me know that. Okay. I need to work on my in-color bookmarks and a shopping list form for you and those kinds of things, but they will be ready. Well, it depends on when they get to my house, and they still are picking. They have not shipped yet. So hopefully by the time the catalog goes live, I would love to make sure that you guys could pick them up by the weekend of not this coming weekend, but next weekend, the 29th and 30th of April. So anyway, we'll see, right? I hope. I'm hoping. All right. So one last little thing before we get to the technique for tonight, which I think you're going to really like. All right, so my April kit came today, and inside was this cute, well, I don't know how cute it is, but I'm hoping it's going to be really useful. Divider. So you can set it up in any configuration that you want, to make your box as useful to you as it can be. Okay, so maybe you use some as small pieces, some you leave bigger. If you do that, then you have extra pieces to make a second one. So anyway, if you want to have all of the little dividers like this with all of your ink spots, you will use all the pieces. If you choose to do it in a slightly different configuration, you may be able to get 2 of them out of that. Okay. Also, next month, the May kit is all about the new in colors. Okay, and they are definitely sort of outdoorsy, nature kind of colors. So that's that. So Monday we will do Paper Pumpkin Party, but I had to open this and I had to check out that little organizer. So probably by Monday I will have mine, or at least a box, organized. Okay, so what are we doing? All right, so let me pull this out. What is that? Okay, it is fine for me to go on the back of this. So I don't have a whole card to show you yet. What I have is 2 parts, okay? We're going to add these colors with the blending brush. Then we're going to emboss this, except that we want the debossed side. So you put it in sort of backwards. I'm going to show you that after we get some color on here. All right. And then you drag your pad so that the background, which is the high part, because the shells are down in, okay, because they're popped up on the back side. Usually you do it the other way, and you are interested in the part where it's embossed and you want the design to pop out. But in this case, we want the design down in so that we can direct to paper the background. Okay, so I'll show you about that too. So let's get some color on. I have 2 new colors and 1 retiring color, 1 current in color, the polished pink. Okay, let me just show you something. So it used to be that we didn't have very many labels that weren't in other languages. We had 1 English, and then we had French and maybe German, and then we had like Japanese. But since we are not in Japan anymore, and our South Pacific region speaks English, we now have 2 English labels. And then down here on the bottom, let me show you this. I'm just going to pull this whole label sheet right off. And then down in the bottom, there's a plain label. Okay, let me show you what I do. You don't have to do it this way, but this is what I do. I take 1 of the labels, and of course that will go on sort of what I call the front. So when I put this in my pad holder, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, this is the Azure Afternoon. Okay, it's a very pretty blue. It's very bright. And then I take the other English. Now I used to look for one that was as close as I could, just to put on the back end, in case it got turned around or something like that. But now I have an English one for each end. Okay, and then when I open the pad, I can put this long solid one right in here. And that way, whoops, let me see if I can get this to stick in there. There. That way, when my pad is open, sometimes it's really hard to tell what color you've got. And so this is very helpful. At least it is to me. I don't know about you, but anyway. So since this is open, let's just start with blue. Azure Afternoon. And I'm going to start off so you don't get a blop. You don't want that. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some blue. Now you want to make sure that you choose your colors kind of carefully, all right? Because you don't want colors that are going to go together and be muddy, all right? You want colors that blend nicely. So let me just show you what I mean. See here how my pink, all right, maybe it's here. So pink and yellow go together and make that pretty orange, and then the pink and the blue over here make that purple. Okay, a little orange here, a little bit of green where the blue and the yellow go together. So you get more colors, okay, than just the 3 inks that you're putting on there, if you choose inks that go well together. Now, basically, I chose versions of the 3 primary colors, all right, which are blue, red, and yellow. So I am going to, let's see, maybe a little on this corner. Ooh, that was kind of a big blop. I didn't start off far enough. It's okay. What I'm using afterwards is even darker, so that'll be okay. All right. So now, I do usually start with my lightest color, and that is Lemon Lolly. This is another new color. This is our new Subtles Yellow, which is very pretty. All right, let me go in between here and find a clean spot. There we go. Like this. And see how when I put the Lemon Lolly and the Azure Afternoon together, you get that green, right? So I'm getting another color without having to use another ink pad, which is pretty great. Okay, so I'm intentionally overlapping. I want them to overlap. Let's do this corner in the yellow. Okay. So, let's get a little more yellow here. And I'm going to just kind of bring that up into that blue a little bit. What you want to make sure you're doing is, for this part, is getting lots of color down and in a way that you don't have any white showing. Okay, so you want it nice and bold. And you can use any colors, but again, you might want to stick to versions of the 3 primaries, okay? Or at least make sure that you're not putting things like yellow and purple together, because you will get brown and it will not be pretty. Okay, so you want to be careful about what you're putting together. All right, so this is the in color polished pink. This is one of the ones that is going away, so we only have a little more time to play with that one. Well, I mean, I only have a little more time as a demonstrator. You guys as customers, you have all kinds of time. You can keep it if it's one of your favorites, but do make sure that you have gotten everything you need, like cardstock and the re-inker and all of that sort of thing. Okay, so see here where that went over the yellow, we've got that pretty orange, and we've got some purple happening up here. I'm going to go over here and bring my pink in. Okay. Like that. So this is a little bold. This color palette is a little bold for Seashells, perhaps, but I was in the mood for bold. I've been a little tired of the grays and the browns outside my windows, so I'm ready for some nice bright colors. I'm working on my garden. Shannon's boyfriend Alec is growing some plants for me, and we are going to just have some beautiful blooms, I hope, this summer. So, all right. I think that looks great. I might come back with a little more of that blue. I kind of went over some of that blue and took away some of that brightness. So let's get a little more blue right here. Oh yeah, like that. And maybe a little more in this corner. And a little more over here. Okay. And maybe we'll even bring this in through here. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. All right, so I should have had another one done, but I didn't. So anyway, those are gonna need a little bath later. All right, so what happens is, all right, let's get the messy part out of the way. There. So what you normally, when you want to emboss, you make sure that it goes in your folder with the Stampin' Upside showing, right? Not this time. Unless, of course, you decide you want to make sure that the white side, so if it helps you to know where that Stampin' Up! Logo is, just put your white side there. Okay? Put your white side, your back side there by the logo. Close it, turn it over, make sure that the little information, the copyright, is on the back. Okay, then you're going to run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, okay, with the gray number 4 plate on top and the white plate on the bottom. And then what you get is, like I showed you before, the shells are actually down in with certain parts raised up, okay, and then the whole background is raised up. So let's bring this back and let me show you how we get that dark color. That's Starry Sky. It's, you want a really dark, you could use Night of Navy, depending on the other colors that you use. If you love like Mossy Meadow, if you're doing plants or something, you might want to use Mossy Meadow as your background. But what you're going to want to do is not this edge, because there's too much space. Okay, you're going to want to use this edge, and you can kind of push the ink down there if you want, like with a spoon or something. But you shouldn't need to. You just want to make sure your pad is pretty well inked. And then you're just going to lightly, it takes a light touch because you don't want it going down in those shells, okay? I'm just going to drag that like that. Oop. Oh, see, that's what happens when you're not careful. That's all right. I know right what I will put there. Okay, so we'll make sure that we're nice and inked there. Okay, so now those shells are really popping out against that dark background. Right? All right, you can go away. Oh, I only did a little bit of a mushy thing. Oh, did I not bring myself a card base? Well, that was silly. Well, that's all right. I have Orchid Oasis over here. And that will jump. That will be all right. Okay. All right. So that's part of what I wanted to show you today. That was the technique. But I also wanted to show you our reversible stamps. So I got the sea turtle set. And Melanie, if you're out there watching, this one's for you, girly. So I got the sea turtle set, and it is something called a reversible. Does it say that anywhere? I thought it might, but I don't see it. I thought maybe it said reversible. It does in the catalog, okay? So what happens is you have the textured part of your stamp, and then you have the flat side, and you can ink both. Now, you can probably do this with most any stamps, but these ones are specifically designed to work this way. All right, so we're gonna have, you know what? I think we're gonna have Starry Sky as our dark shell color. Okay, so I'm just gonna ink up. So this is the patterned side, this is the shell side, okay? And I'm just gonna put my little turtle right over here, okay? I'm just going to give that a second, and then there, okay? So then we need to clean this, okay, and flip it over, okay? Now I'm going to use the Azure Afternoon, but I'm also going to bring my scrap paper back because I want to stamp it off at least once and maybe twice. I will show you why I want to do that later, because I made one and he was too dark. I don't know where he went. I stamped it on a piece of cardstock, I thought. Don't know. Thought it was on this table somewhere. Anyway, we're going to... So I flipped it over, so now the pattern side is touching the block, and now we have the smooth side. And I'm just gonna get that all. Now I'm gonna stamp it off once. I think I'm gonna stamp it off again later. So now I'm just gonna have a very light blue. I find it easiest to do my darker color first on this one because I think it helps me line it up. But I still have to stand up and hopefully, and I think it helps me line it up a little bit better. No worries, my friend Barbara Lash. I will be glad to have you on the replay. See how that just gives that light little color in between the shells? I like that. All right, so now we'll clean that. Let's see who else is here. I think that might be Kathy. Yep. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you're here. All right, so now that we have our turtle, now I can use, I think this one will work. And I always need thank you cards. So I'm going to just stamp the thank you right over here. Okay, like that. So I hope you like the sneak peek at these new colors. I think they're really nice. I'm very happy. There's only a couple that are gonna take a little time to grow on me, I think. Oh, I guess we're using liquid glue because Richard, when he was here for supper tonight, said, hey, got any birthday cards? And I just looked at him and then looked around the studio and said, no, honey, I'm sorry, I don't, and laughed. And so anyway, I had to put some insides in a couple of cards that I took down off the walls. And so my adhesive is over on another table. But that is okay. All right. So even though my friend Barbara Lash and I both know that there are no mistakes, that is going to bug me. That is right where that pad hit, and I didn't want it to. So look at this. We are just going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And guess what? Nobody will know that that pad hit there because they won't be able to see it. So there. All right. There we go. Yep, right there, I think. Let me come down as far as I can and still hide that, only because I don't, yeah, like that. I don't like it to be right in the middle, so that's a little farther down. So there's a little bit more space up here than there is here. So I like that better. And since I have some of the basic pearls and they're retiring, let's add a few of those. We can put them right in. Come on. Oh, all right. Oh, no, we won't do that. But we will try this. Take your pick tool. And we'll just put 5 or something of these little, oops, come on, pearls as bubbles in our ocean. Okay. Oops, there we go. All right, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Let's put 1 here. Whoops. Here, that's 4. And 1 more. Because you kind of want to do the odd number thing. Let's do 1 way up here. Yeah, way up here in the corner, I think. There. Okay. All right. So there's that. All right, so that's that technique. Okay, I'm going to hide that little mess over there. All right, so let's see. Let's recap. We have learned about putting the stickers on our pads. Okay, we got to have a sneak peek at a couple of new colors. We got to check out the reversible stamps. And we got to learn a new debossing technique with our embossing folders. That was quite a lot for a half an hour. So yay us. All right, let me just show you one other card that I made. I haven't finished the greeting yet, but I did use the larger sea turtle and the little fish. Okay, so I used the big, this artwork is only shown at 60%, so that's just over half size. So the big sea turtle really is quite large. Okay, so I used the big sea turtle in Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, which is the colors of this designer series paper from the Hello Irresistible designer series paper that is part of those online exclusives. So that is, so I just cut part of that off. I think it's over by the paper cutter. Anyway, let me see if I can quick find that sheet. This one. So a lot of this sheet reminded me of underwater. Not so much this part. So I just cut off 2 inches and made my 4-inch go this way, or this way. And so I cut 2 inches off the bottom and had that 4 by 5, well, I had to cut a ½ an inch off. So made my 4, no, I don't even think I did make it 4. I think that's only 3 and something. Hang on, somewhere I've got a actual inches side. Here we go. So that is actually 3.5. So I cut a little bit more than 2 inches off of that. Okay, and so how fun is that? So use your designer series paper. You can stamp right on it, and then I added the sea turtle with dimensionals, and I just have to put a greeting on there. So, all right, well, I hope you guys got some good information tonight and that you enjoyed those cards with a couple of different techniques and things. All right, and I hope you'll give this one a try. It's really fun, but just make sure when you're dragging your pad across that you have a really light touch. You do not want to. You can always add more. You can go over it a couple of times, but you can't take the ink away. All right, so really light touch when you're dragging those pads across there. All right, so thanks very much. Free shipping tomorrow. So I will, in the email that I put out, and I think it was in the Facebook page, there is a direct link, a direct shopping link that will add this host code for you all by itself. And I will be watching for those orders, and I will make sure that those that do order get that little sampler of some of my favorite papers that are retiring. Okay? All right. Thanks so much, and glad you hung in there with me. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.